Hey everybody, this is Jeremy at Hiltz Machine Works here at the Main Machinist channel. And I want to show you a very quick video on if you have a problem with your wire feed Lincoln welder, whether it's the Pro MIG or the Weld Pack, these are box store ones, or even other ones that use this kind of a gun. And you have a problem where you're pulling the trigger and it's not feeding, or it's a delayed feed, or you have to hit the trigger several times before it begins to feed. This is a quick thing you can check to solve your problem before you go out and buy a new gun or a new switch. So basically, these turn about a quarter of a turn and they come off. You can then open up the gun. We're going to see in here how this works. So the spring loaded on the trigger, and the gun opens up. And what you have here are two contacts. You have one here, you have one here. And when you depress the switch, the little trigger on this that activates the switch, you can see here that there's a contact piece. Hopefully you can see that really well. And as you pull the trigger, the contact engages. This round contact here touches these two little leads together. And that's what activates everything within the welder to begin feeding and to start the arc. Now, I've noticed on mine, I was having a delay. I'd have to pull the trigger several times before it would feed properly. And not sure if you can see on here. It's very hard to see. I even used a magnifying glass. You can see a little bit right here. It developed flats on the, I guess you could call this ring. And the flats, I believe, were no longer contacting properly. And so without those contacting properly, I'd have to pull several times before this ring would seat firmly on the two little lead wires. You can also pop these out very carefully. You don't want to break them. But if you take a set of needle nose pliers, you can carefully pop those up. I'm going to try to show you here. These also get a little bit of, see that little line at the top? That's where it's been contacting. You can turn this and then seat it back down into the housing at a slightly different spot. And hopefully if you turn those and maybe rotate the ring a little bit, or take a little piece of steel wool or emery cloth and try to smooth this up a little bit, by moving the contact leads and rotating the ring around, you might get a better contact and save yourself from buying a brand new gun. Now, of course, as you're pulling this over and over again, this will tend to rotate inside the gun. But I think when the flats get worn into it, it had a problem where it couldn't contact anymore, and then it would move a little bit if I shook the gun or if I pulled the trigger again, and it would start to contact. So try this. Look for any wear or damage to the ring. Look for any flats or damage here on the leads. Make sure everything's clean and looks nice. Reassemble the gun and try it, because that might solve your problem on one of these Lincoln welders. With everything reassembled, I'm no longer having a problem. Every time I pull the trigger, I'm getting a feed. And here you can see my machine. I got it from a box store, but it's still made in USA. And according to Lincoln, they just change out these labels depending on if it's going to a box store, so that they can claim to have like their own, Lincoln product that you can't get anywhere else. But it is the same machine from the different box stores, just with different labeling. And this machine paid for itself extremely quickly. Out of all the machine tools I have in my shop, other welders, everything, this machine paid itself off first. And I've always appreciated that about the machine. Done a lot of welding with it, and then I had a problem with the gun. So check yours. Thank you for watching. Please share these videos and subscribe. This is Jeremy at Hiltz Machine Works, Main Machinist channel.